Welcome to episode 10 of the Purpose Pursuit podcast with Tim Batts, where we help you find your purpose, lock in on it, and build a life you're proud of, mentally, spiritually, financially, and physically. Today we're sitting down with the powerhouse, Vincent Price. This man's story is one of reinvention, passion, and purpose. From an athlete to Emmy-winning video producer, a soul artist on a mission. Vincent didn't just follow the script, he wrote his own. And if you ever felt stuck between where you are and where you want to be, this episode is for you. We're talking about purpose, persistence, and the blueprint to turning passion into something real. So if you're watching, drop a comment, share this with someone who needs it, and get ready to be inspired. Let's start from the beginning. Born in Pine Bluff, raised in Memphis. How did that environment shape you?
It really shaped me in a good way, actually. I come from a country, I spent a lot of time on the farm. My grandmother and grandfather had a farm, so I lived with them. And, moving to like an inner city like Memphis was a little bit of a culture shock, but it wasn't because I came up in the church and things like that. So I guess my grassroots, my grandfather was a bit of a blue collar guy, and so that grind and that hustle and that get it out the mud type of energy or that type of characteristic really became me, and I still believe that today.
Yeah. How'd you end up getting from Memphis or from Pine Bluff to Memphis?
Well, my mom got a job as a nurse here, so it's time for us to move about the country.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we came to Memphis.
Was it like a culture shock coming from Pine Bluff to Memphis?
It definitely was, but to me, it was more like a big Little Rock. I've been to Little Rock a lot of times, and Memphis was a bigger city. Commutes were bigger, and it was a little bit of a culture shock. I can say that. I loved Overton. Overton really was. She did the right thing by placing us, me and my siblings, in Overton, because Overton, being an artistic driven school, that was like the perfect platform for me right there.
So you came to Memphis around 9th grade, 8th grade?
I think, yeah, it was.
You starting as an athlete. What made you pivot from sports to music?
I got to give that one to Mr. B, Mr. Bethel, Roger Bethel. Yeah. Shout out to Mr. B. I was doing a little bit of everything when I got to Overton. Music. I had the opportunity to meet Sister Hedgeman, or Miss Hedgeman, as we would call her. That was my first day at school. And the second day, she had passed away. So I never got the opportunity to get in the choir. And also, my mom was telling us that we didn't have the money to get, we couldn't afford to be in a capital transfer program. So I wasn't able to do any of those things. But Mr. B just kind of took me in as like a intern, or he was like my mentor. He taught me how to tie a tie. He really inspired me to not only, what we would say is a lot of times, don't be a jack of all trades and not a master of none, not a master of one. So he saw that I love music, and he was like, Vince, you're pretty good at this music thing. And it was the day we did a Black History program. And the choir, I felt like I was like maybe a rebel towards a lot of the art programs because I wasn't heavily in them. I was like on the outside looking in. But that day, I felt like they saw me, they accepted me. So from that point on, it was music.
Yeah,
I was focused on how to develop as an artist. I was trying to find ways to, or people, mentors, information, anything, like how to build my musical talent in every way. That's what made me pivot.
A lot of people chase dreams, but you turn yours into a reality. What was the mindset shift that made you go all in?
Wow. Dreams into reality. Went to Full Sail, and I had this opportunity to be an intern for, I think they would call it Fat Cats. They was shooting everybody's video. Trillville, Outkast, you name it, everybody from Atlanta. And I was like, it felt like I was so close to the industry. And I was like, if these people could do it, I could do it. And so, I think experience breeds believability. And now you can believe in yourself, and you can see like these are normal people like me, and hey, I can do it too. That's what made my mindset shift right there.
Your influences are legends: Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Prince. But how did you find your own voice?
Rudiments. Just like a football player has to go out there and practice throwing the ball, like a quarterback, a singer, you got to get in the gym. You got to be in the gym shooting. And a lot of those people, I definitely studied, but it was my own way of finding myself. Like being blessed to also I'll say this, being blessed to be a videographer and going to different concerts, being behind the scenes, seeing like a Jodeci perform, or say for example, like that was way before my time, but I was just using them for example. But I think I saw Joe perform once, and I was like, man, this is rudiments and working on your craft is how you develop a good sound. So although I love all these people, I want to sound like me, so I got to get in the gym.
Mhm.
So yeah.
So for folk like me who don't know what rudiments is, what's rudiments?
Oh, it's behaviors like
Okay,
like a drummer does rudiments.
got it.
A football player, we just going to practice. We just and a basketball player, we just in the gym shooting. So that's what rudiments are. Repetition.
Was there a moment when you knew music wasn't just a hobby but a calling?
2019. I was doing Vincent, but I wasn't doing Vincent. It's like I hadn't really grasped the fact that I am him, that I'm actually becoming an artist. And I was rushed to the emergency room and I lost my voice.
Mm.
And I had to look in the mirror and say that this is when God takes something away from you, or the universe or circumstances become something, they take something away from you, now you appreciate it that much more. And now you're often gained a different perspective for what this talent is. And it was no longer a talent to me, it was a gift. And it was like, it would be a shame if I couldn't pursue or share this gift with the world. If I died today or tomorrow and I never put this gift out into the universe, yeah, that's what made me shift.
So you say you lost your voice, you was to the emergency room, or
Yeah.
like what was going on during that time?
Um, Man, I was doing a lot of stuff I shouldn't have been doing, and drinking, whatever. Just I was just out there in them streets in a way that I shouldn't have been, And I was drinking a lot, and I think that's what caused the scars and the scar tissues, as they would say, that happened. That made me. The doctor said I would never sing again. So
That must have kind of like scared you for a moment, right?
that was really scary.
Because you probably done worked all up to that point and to feel that it's about to be taken away.
Everything up to that point it was almost like sleep, eating, breathing music. So outside of music, video was like a career, and music was like, okay, Clark Kent is the video production, and now that I could be an artist, now I'm being Superman. Vince Soul is my superhero version of who I am. So not being able to be him, man, it was definitely terrifying.
Your father was a blues singer. Your mother was a minister. How did their influence shape your style and approach to music?
It's like this gospel quartet meets bluesy R&B type of vibe. I love it, man. I'm so thankful for the way I grew up, and the influences that I was exposed to, actually, because my dad was, he was bluesy, but my uncles, I was introduced to hip hop and Run DMC and all of them on my dad's side of the family. So all of that kind of created who I am today, like a soulful, jiggy soul, not neo soul, but more like a hip hop soul type of vibe. So that's when I look back at it, I'm like, wow, this is who I am. This is what created the Vince Soul sound right here.
Many people struggle to step into their purpose because of fear or self doubt. Did you ever face that? And how did you overcome it?
I did. I faced fear. I faced self doubt. Something they called I forgot the name. What's this word? I don't want to get caught up on words though. when I was younger, I had an uncle that was the choir director, and he Joe Jackson me, bro. If I got a wrong note wrong, he was there, man, to like chastise for real, man. Like
Yeah.
it was like, pow, you getting chest. And I think that made this perfect version of who I thought I was trying to be. And if it wasn't perfect, I didn't want to go on stage and do it. So it created this nervousness or this, okay, I'm not worthy type of guy. And I had to overcome that through therapy and through just surrounding yourself with good musical people with the right type of hearts and people that inspire you, and I had to overcome that. So I'm thankful that I did.
Music is one thing, but video production is another. What led to you expanding into that space, and what was it like winning an Emmy?
I knew eventually as an artist I was gonna need to know something about video production. So, across the hall that was broadcasting. So I started attaching myself to and making friends with a lot of the broadcasters or the students that were in broadcasting. And long story short, I ended up going to Full Sail and learning how to edit and learning how to cinematography and and look at me now. I've won an Emmy. I've had my own production companies. I think God had a plan for me that I didn't understand myself when I was young. So when I never even wanted to do video production, but my first video ever that I edited was a video for my baby girl. It was I didn't have no money that Christmas. All I had was this computer, and I put together this little video for her, and she loved it, and it became something I loved. And years later, here I am doing video production. Here I am as a creative producer at Channel 3 when my whole perception of who I was going to be was only music. And it's like, okay, God, this was always a part of the plan. So I'm grateful for it. Yeah.
So, how did you find out you were like? Did you know you were nominated for an Emmy, or did somebody surprise you with the news? How'd you find out?
We did a TV show. They do this show every year. It's called the St. Jude Dream Home Giveaway. Mm-hmm. This year we got the St. Jude account, and as an editor, we was just going all in trying to impress with the edits, and sometimes you want to over edit. It was a good experience. So I didn't go to the award show. None of us did. None of our company members went to the award show. I didn't think we were gonna win. So a friend of mine called us, and when they said our name, Universal Productions won the special edit that year. Man, I wish I had a speech and everything. Like, wow, we won. So, I wish I could say that I know how the experience of being up there with an award in your hand feels, but unfortunately, we didn't even make the show.
Yeah.
So
they
mailed us the award. They mailed our company.
You found out that you got the award. Like, what was it like in the room, or when you got back around everybody that was involved? Like, what was the atmosphere like?
We did us a good celebration. We had a party. The church I attended at the time, they gave us a special presentation one Sunday, and it all felt it felt like it was supposed to feel with love and support, and it's still surreal sometimes. Like, wow, I was one of the first Black production people in this city with an Emmy.
What year was that?
So this was 2012, I want to say. Yeah. Okay. So I haven't since then I haven't did a project worthy of submitting, but I plan on doing some of those type of projects this year.
Yeah, I remember back in school, man. I used to see you, and I didn't know you sung. I always saw you like camera broadcast, and I used to walk by, saw you guys through the glass windows.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you was into singing. I just thought it was always production, and so to hear that you got an award for actual production is actually kind of fitting.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I saw. I didn't know you sing.
The competitive spirit that sports gave me is I kept that competitive nature, that competitive edge, and I applied it to everything I do. If I'm finna learn how to do graphics with After Effects, I'm finna learn how to be the best After Effects graphics maker. If I'm finna edit with Final Cut, I'm finna learn some of the coldest edits that you never see. So
Yeah.
I still carry that,
Okay.
even though I don't play sports. So yeah.
So somebody who's trying to like get into editing, like what, and they may not have a baseline. Like, what do they need to do to get into that area of editing?
Shoot. Books, seminars, YouTube videos, anything. When I'm ambitious about something, when I know that this is attached to my purpose, I'm gonna do everything I can to learn it. So whether that's I gotta spend an hour a day learning a certain type of edit, if I gotta spend an hour a day listening to a YouTube video, a seminar, anything, you gotta get information that sets you apart from the norm.
People see success, but not the work. What's something about your grind that most people don't see?
Man, the setbacks, the financial losses, the L's you got to take, investing into equipment and having to play the hurry up and wait game, while you know everybody else probably already got the good stuff. So when you know you got a certain purpose, or you know that you um trying to overcome, or you trying to be a better person in your business, man, you got to sometimes you got to sit there and you got to eat the noodles, and you can't go out to eat, and you got to go to like those Trader Joe's and all those little stores to budget, man. And so that's part of the game that people don't see.
So making those sacrifices behind the scenes
Yeah.
is well, what they don't see, but they see the success, they see the results.
Yeah.
But a lot goes into getting the result. A lot of I would say denying self to get to what you want goes
Discipline.
into that. Yeah.
Yeah, discipline is key.
And that kind of leads right into the next question. How do you stay disciplined and keep elevating when you hit a roadblock?
Wise man said one day that you don't want to go through life safely arriving at death. Like you gotta find some discipline within yourself to run towards the roar in your life. And that the key to that is discipline. Like stop running away from yourself, stop running away from greatness. So be disciplined enough to sit sit in whatever your craft is and learn it and be the best at it. So
A lot of young artists struggle with chasing the industry versus creating their own lane. What's your advice to staying authentic?
being true to yourself, just loving what you do, man. Like some of the best music that still lives today is real music. So you'll never be no more or less than who you are as an artist than you are as a person. So you got to grow with who you are. Like people will follow you. They'll love you if you're truly authentic with who you are versus trying to sing about something that's that doesn't have any substance, that doesn't has any heart. Once you sing about heart and things that are true to you, you can live that and marry that to being an artist.
If you had to choose making music or telling stories through video, what keeps you up at night?
Music. I love video, but music is like hieroglyphical. Back in the day, back in different tribes, they had these storytellers. And if these tribes went to war, the storytellers were one of the most protected of the tribe, because the storyteller would have to live on to teach the next generation how they were supposed to apply life. So I feel like in today's generation, I'm one of those fortunate ones to become a storyteller. So that's what keeps me up at night. Sometimes God is, I'm listening and he's saying this is what I want you to do, or this is the type of story that I want you to tell. Something that's going to impact the people, something that's going to help the people. Yeah, that's part of my purpose right there, being a storyteller.
You've built the brand through depth and authenticity. Why is that so important to you?
That's so important because, and at the end of the day, what comes from the heart reaches the heart. So if you're not authentic, how can you look at yourself in the mirror and say this is something real that you're doing? So that's how I'm able to sleep at night, man. Not having to worry about whether what I'm doing is fake or if it's not supposed to be something I'm putting out there in the universe.
So I was just thinking, There's obviously you got trends. You have what's going on at the moment that's hot.
Yeah.
Sometimes being authentic may not jive with what's going on right now. Like how do you remain authentic and still be able to touch what's going on in the moment? How would someone be able to do that?
Man, I'm studying the game, like seeing where everything is right now, industry wise, and just trying to be true to yourself and setting yourself apart from what's trendy. Because it is hard trying to stay who you are in a world that you see millions of people are going viral doing stuff that's not real or something that just get attention and that's not you. If you know that's not you and you don't want to do it, it's almost like becoming something outside of yourself just to do something for attention. So through substance and knowing who you truly are, you can just sit back and say, "This is what I'm doing." I'm him. I'm not that.
In terms of a like adaptation, you in general, when
Yeah,
you can adapt, we can just say life in general, you survive.
yeah.
Um, how can someone adapt without compromising self?
Someone can adapt without compromising self by just taking the good out of certain elements that are out there today. When you can find the good in something and still become you in it, that's perfect. You can see the way the world is and still blend with what's going on, but still have your own element or substance of good in that. Uh, that I guess that'll be how you can adapt to it.
For someone out there feeling stuck, uninspired, or lost, what's the first step in finding their purpose?
Man, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all His righteousness, and all things will be added unto you. That's one of my favorite scriptures. Um, and that's one of the prayers I pray every day. Like having purpose and not having guidance from Him is already a losing battle. So you got to ask yourself if that is even the purpose that you're doing right now. If you ain't get it from God, so sometimes you got to sit with self and figure out if what you're doing right now is what you're supposed to be doing. So through meditation, prayer and God, God will give you the answer.
There's talent, and then there's execution. What's the biggest difference between dreamers and doers?
Man, you gotta have big faith. You gotta know that you are him and you go out there and do it. Dreaming alone isn't gonna let it happen. You gotta get, like I said, get in them books. You gotta find people that inspire you. You might have to go, sit around some people, get some studies in. Um, that's the doing part right there. Like just dreaming and not networking and connecting with people that are probably part of your inspiration or part of something that you do right now, um, is a losing battle. So go and get out there, man, and start learning from people.
And
You
stop
know,
dreaming.
yeah,
If you are dreaming, just,
yeah,
just it's time to put into work, right?
yeah. You got to put it
Yeah.
in motion, man.
Yeah. Faith without works is
Faith
dead.
without
Right?
works.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. What does legacy mean to you? And when people hear the name Vincent Price, what do you want them to remember?
Legacy means everything to me. Leaving a legacy, leaving your print on the world. That's why I feel like he wants all us to do that. And when people hear the name Vincent Price, I want them to know a person that fought hard for what he believed in, a person that tried to unify people, a person that tried to make an impact in his community, um, that loved life, and life loved me back. And when I heard and did everything I could to become the artist and the man God made me to be.
Just kind of in closing, like what are some things you're working on? Some tea leaves that you can probably put out there. Like what should we expect out of Vincent here in the future?
Uh, I have a movie that's gonna be on Tubi next month. Um, I'm working on a series as well. And look forward to the album. Like I said, I'm working on finishing the album up. It's called Soul Music. I probably got another name for that album right now. But right now it's called Soul Music. I wanted to keep it plain. I wanted to keep it simple. A lot of times branding is less is more nowadays. It's gonna have 10 tracks on it. I'm excited about it. I put out a couple of singles that are on the album, but I've put them out to kind of test the waters, kind of test theory type of music. But yeah, I'm excited about all of my artistic endeavors this year, and y'all stay tuned for it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, man, I certainly appreciate you coming by, and it's been a blessing and an honor to have you here, man.
Man, thank you for having me.
No, it's been awesome. I'm
Yes, sir.
glad we were able to kind of get together, and maybe we could get back together in the gym, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, it ain't snowing now, man.
Oh, hey, I was gonna go today, so
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
do that. Let's do that.
All right, bro. I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you, bro.
Vincent just dropped gems, real ones. If you're sitting on a gift, a purpose, a passion, and you're not acting on it, what's stopping you? Your talent doesn't matter if you don't put in the work. Your dreams don't matter if you don't move on them. Vincent is living proof that when you commit, when you master your craft, and when you refuse to let excuses stop you, you win. Here's your challenge. Take one step this week. Write that song. Start that business. Learn that skill. Whatever it is, move. If this episode hit you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to the Purpose Pursuit podcast. And remember, purpose doesn't wait. It's time to make it happen.